Bill O'Reilly, former host of Fox News. This is like before Tucker Carlson type shit, right? You may have heard, F it, we're doing it live. We'll do it live, the meme, right? He's that guy. Piece of shit. Hate him to death. And now I'm going to give you guys yet another reason to hate him. Bill O'Reilly decided to crawl out of his hole and talk about the Jeffrey Epstein controversy on his YouTube channel, and apparently on, is it just his YouTube channel? I don't know like where he like broadcasts anymore. My understanding is that he has some interesting opinions about it. So let's take a look.
So it's a bad look right now. That's a cliche, I know. But
listen, the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing and Trump being potentially implicated, that's a bad look, Sweaty, but good start.
With Attorney General Bondi saying one thing and then saying another thing about the so-called
God, he's ancient
files. I don't know what the files are.
I hope his bones ache every morning. I won't squeeze the life out of this, out of how much I hate him with my rhetoric, but suffice it to say, I hate this man.
I don't know anything about it. But I do know the federal government has information on the man and what the man's activities comprise. They do. FBI has it. And we're not getting that.
You have to insert a coin in order to unlock the cart. Oh, yeah. We do that here too. The problem is coins don't mean anything anymore in America, so like it's worth 25 cents to literally just leave your cart sitting in the lot, and most people don't care.
Now, the Trump administration is transparent. There has not been a modern day president. I can't think of anybody in the last 100 years.
Huge hands.
Who's been more accessible to the press than Mr. Trump. He's on Air Force One. Every time he...
Making yourself accessible to the press does not mean transparency. All that means is that you're telling the press things. You're talking to them, sure, but if everything you say is bullshit, that's not transparency. That's just you yapping. That's a lot of talking and not much else.
He got a guest. He takes the questions. He's on the tarmac. He's accessible. Comparing him to Biden, you never saw Biden.
What? Okay, dude, when asked, I do agree with that, by the way. Biden did not make himself nearly as available as Trump does. I do agree with his point on that. But when asked the question about the Epstein files, Donald Trump's response was, why are we still talking about this? That's old news. Like, that's almost verbatim what he said. He's like, why are we still talking? That's not transparency, man. Come on.
He wouldn't answer any question. You couldn't get close to him. Trump every day. So something's not right here. Okay? And
we agree on that.
I don't know what it is. Will I find out? I don't know about that either. I did request an interview with Kash Patel, who turned me down. That's not good. I know Mr. Patel, been very fair to him over the years. The guy flat out turned me down.
Who's Kash Patel again? I'm a very professional political commentator, by the way, and I know these names. Oh, he's the director of the FBI. So then what's the difference between his position and Dan Bongino? Because Dan Bongino's deputy director. Which one's higher up? I don't know. I'm really good at politics, but I promise I'm good at politics, guys. I promise. Directors and deputy directors have different responsibilities, but they tend to work closely together. So basically, they're on equal level. They're on equal footing. So the director is the organizational part, and the deputy director is overseeing operations to implement the stuff. The more you know.
Okay.
Never ask, never know.
My obligation to report that to you. And it looks like the federal government is hiding something. But that may not be true.
It seems, okay, don't believe your lying eyes, my friends. All signs point to, yes, the government is in fact hiding something. But have you considered that maybe they're not? I'm just throwing it out there.
So that's where we are. And I don't like that feeling, and you don't either. I'm sure you don't. We want some definition here, right? Now, a bit of a timeline. August 10th, 2019. All right. Epstein found dead in his New York City jail cell.
I would be willing to bet money that Bill went to the island himself. Easy money. I don't know. I don't know enough about Bill O'Reilly to make that assertion.
I believe it's a suicide.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't believe the New York City coroner made...
There it is, the one guy we were saying earlier in the stream. This wasn't part of a YouTube segment, but we were saying earlier in the stream, we were like, who's like the one guy? Which he's lying, but like, let's be fun with it for a minute. Who's like the one guy that actually believes that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself? Here he is, Bill O'Reilly. He's the one guy. Good stuff.
I believe it's a suicide. I don't believe the New York City coroner made up the fact that the
I do.
autopsy showed that he expired by.
The New York City coroner valued his skull. He valued his frontal lobe too much to not make shit up. Sorry.
By hanging himself.
Yeah, I believe he actually,
I don't believe that.
was lying, yes.
But millions of people believe that he was murdered to cover up something. That's a conspiracy.
To cover up something. Something. It's anybody's guess as to what this something might be. We're not sure yet. We do have reports coming in that there's maybe this island somewhere, allegedly, and that there are some victims, possibly, perchance, that were taken to the island. We don't know if it was against their will or if they consented, being underage and all that. We don't know if the children consented to being taken to the sex island. I mean, the island in question. But what we do know is that we don't know yet.
The theory, and it's in play. Now, I can't prove my point because I didn't do the postmortem examination on Epstein. And the whole autopsy hasn't been released. Most of it has.
Who is this for? Who's this for? This is like the most blatant. I am literally saying this shit, and I am desperate for literally anybody to believe me. Anybody, please, I'm begging you. I'm telling the truth. I promise, bro. Please just believe me. You're staring at the sky, and you know for a fact that you're looking at a blue sky, and he's like, it's red, bro. It's red. Believe me, bro. It's red. It's actually red. If you think about it, I know that it looks blue, but if you really think about it, if you really think, we don't know that it's not red.
And then Epstein's brother brought in, hired guns, got people who were paid to tell Epstein's brother what he wanted to hear, that, it looks suspicious to me. You know how that game goes, okay?
You know how it goes.
So the conspiracy is underway. Does that mean anything? No. I mean, I wrote Killing Kennedy. You got 10,000 Kennedy conspiracies, and a lot of those people who pushed that made money on it. You want to know what happened to JFK? You read Killing Kennedy. That's what happened to him. Because we were able to get the primary reporting from the FBI.
I mean, we basically know that, the CIA murked his ass, right? The conspiracy theories were correct. The government came in and murked him. They said he's doing too much socialism. We have to kill him. He's giving too many rights to the commoners. We must off him. We got to boom him. Yeah, that was correct. The conspiracy theorists were correct on that.
So without any editing or any of that.
That's why, by the way, he's not saying, directly what we found out about the JFK files.
Very lucky to get that. Anyway, the chief medical examiner who was involved in the Epstein case, a woman named Dr. Barbara Sampson, and she's an honest woman. I don't think there's any possibility.
IDK Bill O'Reilly was part of Fox News. He could be lying. I don't know. Fox News is fair and balanced.
That she forged anything here. My opinion. She's an honest woman. I don't think.
The medical examiner dismisses doubts about Epstein autopsy. Yes, again, because she values she values her life. She doesn't want to be boomed. The medical examiner who ruled Jeffrey Epstein's death a suicide immediately pushed back Wednesday against the suggestion by a longtime forensic pathologist hired by Epstein's family that some of the evidence indicates homicide. No. I promise, bro. Please. I do not have snipers aimed on me. And I swear up and down that Epstein killed himself. At least that is the script that I was given. I swear.
There's any possibility that she forged anything here. My opinion.
No possibility whatsoever.
So now what do we do?
We have a motive, dog. We have a clear motive. Can we talk about that for a second? I'm not saying the motive itself is enough to prove anything, but it sure does give us a good indication of why they might have done this, okay? And it's not hard to convince one person when you have billions of dollars that you can use to murk people at your will and whim. Convince one person, or pay them off. Maybe she was paid off. Who knows? Maybe she had a hot payday. To lie. Yeah, just lie. You really think people would do that? Just go into the Epstein files and lie?
Well, clearly the Trump administration doesn't want to.
He got in trouble for abusing power and sexually assaulting women. It's what got him fired from Fox. I feel like I knew that, and I like buried that deep into the recesses of my brain, which has been taken up mostly by crochet shit lately. Yeah, that, you know what, that tracks. Yeah, he's got sexual abuse allegations against him. Cool. Even Fox thought that was enough to fire him, huh? Imagine my shock and awe when a alleged sex offender, which I don't think he was ever legally charged with anything. So alleged sex offender that got him fired from Fox, by the way, that is the reason he was fired, comes out in defense of other sex offenders. That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
Hold a press conference, and Bondi would have to do that. She could have Patel there, head of the FBI.
The crazy thing is, it would be so much easier for him to just say, yeah, the conspiracy theories are true. Donald Trump for not releasing the Epstein files. He could just pull a Tucker Carlson. But like his feeble brain is like, well, I'm a sex offender. We got to stick together on this. You know, sex offenders got to have each other's backs. Except for that time that we killed Epstein. But other than that,
They don't want to do that.
That was a necessary sacrifice. But other than that.
Again, it's not a good look. So
not a good look, Sweaty. Not the best look.
Agent knows what they can and can't tell the public.
Look, when you're implicated in massive child sex crimes, that is not a good look, Sweaty. That's going to look bad on the timeline, man.
Unless there's somebody under active criminal investigation, you can't put the name out. That's wrong. You could destroy people's lives. But you can generally...
Good! Since when did we give a shit about destroying the lives of pedophiles? Very credibly alleged pedophiles. Yeah, destroy their lives. All of them. All of them.
Tell the folks, me and everybody else, here's what we got. Okay? And here's what the indictment was. This guy was going to get convicted. Evidence is overwhelming.
Yes!
You know, we've learned X, Y, and Z without giving names. You can do that. It's not hard to do that. Here's a kicker.
He did just say that, like...
This guy was going to get convicted. Evidence is overwhelming.
Yeah. It was, wasn't it? Like, the theory is, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, that he was going to be given a sweetheart deal in exchange for releasing the names of the people implicated. Like, that was the deal. And he was willing to make that deal. And so before he could, he got boomed. Is it really a conspiracy theory if it's true? It's a conspiracy. A conspiracy is well, I don't know the exact definition, but in the sense that we're using it here, it means the government is engaged in activity that they are hiding from the public and is actively harming the public in some way. So that's the conspiracy. I guess it doesn't technically have to harm the public. Like, there's a conspiracy theory that Michelle Obama is actually a man, et cetera, et cetera. But like, it's shit that the government's trying to hide from you, right? That's a conspiracy. The theory part comes in when you start, you know, the theory of the conspiracy is that Michelle Obama is actually a man in disguise as a woman. The theory part of this is that Jeffrey Epstein did not actually kill himself, even though that's what the government is telling us happened. It technically, right, big air quotes, qualifies as a conspiracy theory. The problem is the connotation of the phrase conspiracy theory. It makes you sound crazy when you believe in conspiracy theories. But this is one conspiracy theory that pretty much everybody universally agrees is true. Because of the overwhelming evidence that he's saying we have, by the way, that Jeffrey Epstein did, in fact, was going to be convicted, right, for his crimes against who knows how many children. And I believe, personally, that, and a lot of people do, that he was going to sell people out. He was going to start ratting, okay? He was going to rat. And so they boomed him. It's a very plausible theory.
And, you know, we've learned X, Y, and Z without giving names. You can do that. It's not hard to do that.
Don't give out the names of the child predators.
Merrick Garland should be in this press conference. But
Dad, if you're watching this, this was your guy, man. This was your guy. I remember growing up, you always had Bill O'Reilly on Fox News. This is him.
I had this info for 4 years. Justice Department.
Something to think about, man.
They didn't do anything. Now, if Trump was...
Sorry, I feel like I'm talking about my dad a lot. Listen, again, I love my dad, but that man's brain is mush sometimes.
...involved or any high-ranking Republican, believe me, that would have been out in a second. New York Times would have had that. Washington Post would have had that in a second. If there were any Republican or conservative people involved with Epstein, boom, that would have been out. Okay? And
but like that's such bullshit, man. It's like, dog, like, I don't know what to say to this. It's like nobody on the left gives a shit if the people implicated are conservatives or liberals, okay? Or otherwise, if there's a communist on the list. I don't care. Communists can be really shitty people sometimes. They also can do bad things. Throw them in jail and throw away the key. All right? I don't care what their political alignment is. I have no personal attachment to these freaks. And I love this line that, like, oh, well, if there were Republicans on the list, you bet your ass that Joe Biden would have released that shit. And it's like, no, he wouldn't have. Joe Biden has licked the ass of Republicans over and over and over again. How many times does he have to lick your booty holes for you to believe that he's on your side? He always was. Always was. Just like the rest of the liberals.
on the other side, I think the Trump administration probably would have gone after anybody on the liberal side. You got Bill Clinton associated with.
I don't believe that.
With Epstein to some extent.
Trump was also buddies with Bill Clinton.
I mean, they crossed paths. I don't know.
They crossed paths.
None of that ever came out. Just keep that in mind. But Merrick Garland knows as much as Pam Bondi knows. Where's Merrick? Where's him? I don't hear the media screaming about, well, let's bring in Merrick Garland. Or the former FBI chief, what's his name? Escapes me, I'm old. Under Biden.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Get them both together. So anyway, the story's not going to go away.
Good. It shouldn't.
It's going to hurt President Trump.
And if the Democrats have any sort of balls, okay, at all, the Democrats have any sort of balls left at all, they will be screaming this from the rooftops. Release the files. Release the files. This is a gimme. It's a gimme, okay? Even MAGA people are turning against Donald Trump and his administration right now because Donald Trump literally ran on releasing the Epstein files. He's a idiot. Please, for the love of God, Democrats, do something good for once in your lives. Hi, thanks so much for watching and making it to the end of the video. I just wanted to let you all know that I love and appreciate everybody in my community, whether you can support me financially or just by liking, commenting, and sharing my videos. It helps way more than you know. That being said, I do want to give a very special thanks to my tier 4 subs, which would be Space Timid and Hot Take Andy. And thanks so much to my monetary subscribers from any of the tiered subs or anybody who gives me money in any form, including going to my Patreon shop, donating money to me directly. It all helps way more than you know. If you do decide to help me financially, you can get some really cool perks like early access to content, exclusive access to censored videos, also some really cool badges next to your name. Even if you can't afford a monetary subscription, just watching, sharing, and commenting on my content helps way more than you know. Thanks again, and I will see you all in the next video.